Hey everyone, it's Kenton Becker, American Pacific Mortgage. I am here again with another weekly video tip for you. This week's video tip is all about hiring a loan officer. Yes, that's right. When you are beginning the process and you want to purchase a home, one of the things you need to do is select the best loan officer you can find. Now, in my Homebuyer class, I break this down into 2 steps. And so I'm going to go over this really briefly with you and kind of give you the summarized portion of hiring a great loan officer. Step number 1 is to do your research. This means go on Google, ask family members, ask friends, find people who are in the industry already, ask them who they recommend for a great loan officer. You're just trying to gather some names here. Do not call them yet. That will come later. Just gather some information. The next thing you need to do is you need to research them, which means you need to look up their reviews, look up their testimonial, go to their websites, see if there's any information about them on social media that they publish. When you look up their reviews and testimonials, it will also give you a good idea of what kind of experience their clients and past customers have. Also pay attention to how many years they have in the business. If they have been a loan officer for 10 years, 20 years, and they have 4 reviews, that's not a good sign. That either means that they don't really care what people publish out there, or what people publish out there is not very good and they try to hide it. So I kind of would steer clear of that. Once you've kind of looked up, maybe you've narrowed it down to your top 2 based on your research and reviews and looking up their testimonials, the next thing to do is now to reach out to them and you're going to interview that loan officer. I'm going to give you 4 simple questions that you can ask that will give you a really good idea if they're going to be the right fit for you. Question number 1 is, what kind of loan officer are you? Are they a mortgage lender or are they a bank or credit union? It's a little bit different experience dealing with each. Generally, when you work with a mortgage lender, you're going to be working with one person through the entire process from start to finish. And many times you'll even work with that loan officer in the future. When you buy or sell different homes, refinance in the future, they're going to be with you for a long time, so you can build a good relationship. Usually when you're working with a bank or credit union, you're not going to be working with that original loan officer for very long. You might fill out an application with them, and then that application is going to be actually sent to a different department, like a processor, an underwriter, and so on. And you may never connect with that original loan officer ever again. Most banks and credit unions have to operate as an assembly line because they're just working with a high volume of clients. And when they're working with that many clients at a time, each loan officer can't afford to work with hundreds of clients at a time. So it's just a little bit different experience working with a bank or credit union versus a mortgage loan officer. The second question you need to ask is, how quickly can you close? Ideally, what you're looking for here is a lender that can close in 30 days or less, because this becomes very important to the seller. And if you're competing with other buyers for that seller's home, you really want to close as fast as possible so your offer looks as competitive as possible to the seller. Question number 3 that you should ask is, what is your communication, or how can I communicate with you? Basically, you need to find out how you're going to be able to communicate with that loan officer, either by text, phone call, email, however you need to communicate with them. And it's very, very important, because when you are out shopping for a home with your realtor in the evenings or on the weekends, and you need to get a pre-approval letter updated, or you need to get new numbers with an estimate for that house, how are you going to reach out to your loan officer? If all you have is their office phone number, that's only going to work during business hours. And if you need to get a hold of them in the weekends or the evenings and you can't, you might miss out on some opportunities on homes because you're waiting for those numbers to come back. So make sure you have a way to reach out to your loan officer after hours if at all possible. And definitely you have a way to ask those questions or get updates along the way. The 4th and final question is, how much experience do you have? You're finding out not only how long have they been a loan officer, or just how much experience do they have, but how many clients or buyers do they typically help each year? Now also, if you're looking for a certain type of program, maybe a specialty type program like down payment assistance or USDA or VA loans, or something that's very, very specialized, you're gonna wanna make sure that that loan officer actually specializes in that type of loan. If they have been a loan officer for 10, 15, 20 years, but the last down payment assistance loan they did was 5 years ago, that's probably not somebody you're gonna wanna work with if you're trying to do a down payment assistance loan. Make sure you ask them not only how long have they been a loan officer, but also you're going to wanna ask them how many buyers did they help last year, maybe with down payment assistance, or how many buyers did you help last year with VA loan or USDA loans, whatever it is that you're looking for as your specialty type of financing. So there you go. There are some questions that you can ask your loan officer and how to narrow down to find a great loan officer that you can work with. Now, at the end of the day, if everything works out great, you start working with them and then it all falls apart, you can always change lenders. You are never obligated or under contract with any lender to work with them. So if all of a sudden there's a falling out and you don't like this person anymore, go find a lender that you are going to like to work with. It's very important that you have a good experience through the home buying process. Now, if I can help out with anything, or if you just want to interview me and ask me some of those questions, I'd be happy to answer those questions for you. So just reach out to me, let me know, or comment below, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. Thanks so much for joining me on this weekly tip. Have a great week.